What's up, guys? So if anyone was paying attention to the last series, how to improve with every character, we learned a lot, right? Pretty awesome series, if I do say so myself, of course. So I said, hey, you know what? I'm bringing you guys up too much. I'm teaching you guys how to do all this cool stuff and play characters better. Nah, we have to balance it out. The world needs balance. Now the series is going to be 1 or 2 or 3, however many tips I feel like, depending on how much I hate your character, how to beat every character. Starting off, we got, everyone's favorite character, right? Mascot? Mario. So for this character, the big thing is exploiting his lack of burst options. Because, sure, he has a dash attack that's pretty bad. His overall speed is decent, but it's not amazing. He doesn't have, any hitboxes that reach far very quickly, right? So, this sounds kind of obvious, but it's really important to keep in mind that, if Mario's at this range, he doesn't have where to get close to you. He can do that. Oh, oops. He can do, this. But, I didn't get close enough. Really close, right? And with the range in this game, that's, bad. So, and the main thing Mario players do to kind of get around this is they let you corner yourselves. So make sure you're reading the Mario players' habits on how they're approaching, or if they're not approaching, how they're scaring you. And just don't get so predictable they get cornered and find yourself having to stare against Mario doing back air when you're, here. Because that's how they win games. But as long as you're not in this spot, you can honestly play pretty lame against Mario as much as you want, with little counterplay from him. Not none, just little. When it comes to Donkey Kong, I think people sometimes don't realize his weaknesses well enough. People assume, okay, big character, heavyweight, so you obviously want to camp him out, right? And while he doesn't have a projectile or big disjoints, although his arms and hands can be intangible during certain attacks, he is pretty fast. He does have big range on all of his attacks, and he has good burst options, along with just kind of tools to get around zoning if you're too predictable. But what he doesn't have is he doesn't have frame data. All of his attacks are slow. He also has quite a bit of blind spots. So, when you're fighting DK, the trick is not actually to camp him super hard, because you just gotta get yourself cornered and get caught by dash tech into whatever BS he wants. The trick is honestly when you hit him to just stay on top of him until even hitting his shield, you can stay on top of him pretty aggressively, hit his shield safely if you cross him up. Either put him in the air and constantly catches his landings with frame traps. He really just doesn't have the best tools under pressure. The only way he can really escape pressure is up B. That's an armor move that's out of shield. Comes out decently fast. Can be very scary and it's super punishable, right? So if you kind of put a lot of pressure on his shield and basically constantly press buttons, he's pretty much forced to choose defensive options, which you can overwhelm because he's such a big body. That's even his roll and his spot dodge and whatever kind of stink. Or he's forced up B. Or do slower air shield options with jump nair or punish you for spacing poorly with a grab. So it really makes him very exploitable, and that's the main way to beat DK in my opinion. Then just edge guarding him, which is I think pretty easy. So the thing about Link is you actually have to pressure him off stage at mid-ish percents. Because this character is hard to edge guard with low percents, so you can just up it back to stage, whatever. And at high percents, he has too much time to basically pull out a bomb and use bomb recoveries, right? So at high percents I can do this and pretend I was a Link player. But if I'm at say mid percents, I'm getting hit and you're in a position to chase Link, he doesn't have time to pull out the bomb and go for the recovery before he can pressure him. His up B at farther distances is very linear and very easy as stuff. He also is very slow in the air, so he can't just drift to the ledge freely, right? So if you put a lot of pressure on top of him and stay there, you can end stock sub 100. And honestly, versus Link, he's either gonna die around 100 and below, or live to 150 if you're not exploiting that. Because otherwise, his character's neutral is really strong along with his advantage state. Of course, he is slow. His frame data, all of his startups aren't that great, so you can exploit that. But compared to, say, DK, who we just talked about, he handles pressure a lot better due to his disjoints, due to projectiles, due to his, smaller size. So you really have to, stay on top of him when you hit him and exploit just his disadvantage state at mid-percents. So for Samus, the advice versus her is you have to, and I mean you have to exploit when she's landing. Because she's actually ready to approach her on the ground, right? When she's on the ground doing grabs, forward tilts, charge shots, dash attacks to punish things, whatever. She's really good there. but she can't stay on the ground forever. She's going to be forced to jump. And when she's landing, she's really vulnerable. She doesn't have a good landing hitbox. And I'm talking about like just in neutral. Like she like short hops in neutral, or maybe like spaces air, or jump away from you. That's when you pressure, because like Zara doesn't hit that low. Nair doesn't really hit low. Let's do like this. Even it's not too low. Forward air starts above her and goes low. Back air doesn't hit low. Down air is hits from behind her and not really that far. It's just not a good landing hitbox. Like she does not have good landing hitbox. And she is a floaty character who I believe is like not exactly slow in the air, but not fast. But since she's floaty, it's easy to react to her. And the only thing she has in the air like mix herself up well is bombs, which is quite a lag animation, so you can still like pressure her. And basically by doing things that force her to jump or bait her in the jump, and then staying on the ground and just rushing her down, she's gonna struggle a lot. Which also makes ledge trapping her particularly easy, because when you ledge trap her, you want to focus on covering her grounded options, and then when she jumps, you can kind of just juggle her pretty easily because of, once again, the lack of good landing tools. So Yoshi is a character that is both busted and kind of bad at the same time. He has a lot of really overtuned stuff. His over air movement, his frame data, damage output, kill power, combos, like safety and shield, a lot of things. Like he is absurd as a character in some ways, but he also is very limited. His ground game is just poor raw. Like he's easily fast on the ground, but like his hitboxes are tiny. All this stuff is punishable on block. He's got like in your face, and like you know what he's looking for. Like if he's playing on the ground, like he's looking to like run up to like an up tilt probably, or forward tilt to get a combo going. Maybe like a down tilt set trips, but like he's kind of like fighting you from the same range with all of his moves, and his only rear ground approach option is just like dash in, honestly. So he's forced to jump at you a lot, right? Like he has to, and I mean he has to just jump at you and try to swing at you, which leaves him very vulnerable if you pretty much just choose to like shut him down with your movement and your hitboxes, right? Like he's very easy to challenge in a lot of spots due to how linear his attacks are, due to his lack of range. He trades pretty well, but like he gets outranged by a lot of stuff. And because he has to play in the air a lot, you can oftentimes move around on the ground to evade him and punish him. Like if he's jumping at you, it's surprisingly easy if like Yoshi's doing this to just run underneath him, and he's just gonna like not hit you that well, or like dash back and let him whiff an attack, and then just punish him. You know, if this projectile's coming his way, he's gonna want to like jump around the projectiles, leaving himself very vulnerable, because he is also a pretty floaty character. And you have to be willing to aggressively stuff him out with hitboxes, because the moment you start playing this matchup more passively and like blocking his stuff and basically letting him get the pressure going, he's just gonna start winning, honestly. Like his pressure on block is crazy. His combos are crazy. He can destroy shields. Like he can chase insanely well. Like you do not want to let him get his offense going, and choosing defensive options is how he gets that going. Versus Kirby, don't swing at him if it seems unsafe. This is like one of the biggest mistakes I see people do, is they see Kirby just in neutral and you're chilling, crouching, shielding, and they're like, I'm gonna attack him. And I'm just like, no, you are gonna lose the game if you do that. Because due to his size and his really fast tilts that like are pretty big surprisingly for his size, and like really fast, and his combo game, he's actually a master of like defensive play, like bait and punish type of play. If you're approaching this character with really obvious like aerials from like full hops, from far range jump ins, just in general being obvious with the aerials, he is gonna punish. If you're running up to him and trying to like pressure him with like tilts and grabs like aggressively, he is gonna be able to challenge you. He is gonna be able to punish unless you're like a massive swordie. But even then, his size can be annoying. Even like characters with big swords, because most big sword characters don't have the best grounded spacing tools. But because he lacks mobility, he can't chase people. So if you're not really giving him chances to punish you, he has to outplay you hard to find his openings and get his damage going. That's it for the first one of these videos. You know the drill, right? You know, let people know these things exist. You know, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, all this stuff. Support these videos. You know, I make this awesome content for you guys, and I just hope you enjoy the series.